How many people are already financially wealthy, financially free? I have a 2016 Z06. It's at a Chevy dealership in Texas that I want. Would you mind going to get it for me? We can talk afterwards. Anybody else financially free? All right. So if you have to work for a living and you have to pay your bills and you have to do all of these things because you have dreams, you have hopes, you have bills, you have, the groceries, the rent, everything else, how do you make money? What do you do to pay the bills? What do you do to fulfill your dreams? What do you do to bring in the money for the telephone bill, the internet access, all of that kind of stuff? What do you do currently? This is interactive time. This is when you're supposed to respond. I know you're sitting there. I heard your voices. Anybody?
Trade time for money.
He trades time for money, doing something. Yes?
I'm very blessed because I live with my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on pension, but my daughter pays, she owns the home, so I live rent-free. She
Nice.
pays the internet, so I have the internet. She pays the phone, so I have the internet. I buy food and cook for the family, and that's
Okay.
how I help to pay back.
Okay.
I am very, very blessed.
Yeah. I think we're all blessed. That's a great example of a blessing right there, but we're all blessed. Look where we're sitting, and oh, hi, I didn't even see you show up. You're blessed too. You're living your dream, aren't you?
I am living my dream thanks to you and everyone at Achieve today.
Living your passion. It was decades ago that I met this very wealthy entrepreneur, and he sat down and he was with a friend of mine, and he said that you better pick a business, a money income stream that you love, because virtually any business that you get in is going to end up being a dogfight. That was his perception. I'm not saying that's the way it is, but for most people it's a dogfight because there'll be competition. There'll be somebody else with a similar business. So unless you love your business, it will be hell. And you'll get up every day and you will hate your work and you will hate what you're doing and you will hate the bills and you'll probably hate your life and you'll hate the world and everybody in it and around it. So what I want to talk about today is how to profit from your passion. How to make a living from doing what you love. Does that sound more exciting? Yes. Much more exciting, right? Yes. Who wants to be in a dogfight? Who wants to go and have to wrestle with life? Who wants to struggle? We don't want to do any of that. What we want to do is live our passion. And I think the real secret to life is knowing your passion, following your passion, and profiting from your passion. Because your passion is your clue to what you're supposed to do in life from divinity, if you will. It's like your life mission. People used to ask me, how did I go from homelessness? How did I go from poverty? How did I go to living this lifestyle of the rich and famous and hanging around in places like this? Wow. How did I do that? And it used to frustrate me because I'd think, I did everything. I did everything. I did the books and the courses and the seminars and the free events and the free talks. And I went to the public library and devoured everything that was free. I did everything. But then it did dawn on me that there was one thing that I was always doing and still do today. And I follow my passion. Even when I don't know where it's going to take me, even when I don't know that there will be a payoff, not doing it for the payoff, not doing it for the money, but finding out when I followed my passion, I did get the payoff and I did get the money and often got major successes I never dreamed were possible, but because of following my passion. So today what I want to do is give you a formula that is going to help you discover your passion, follow your passion, profit from your passion by appeasing a certain targeted audience that likes your passion too. How many have read my book, The Awakened Millionaire? Only a couple of you? Cameraman put his hand up because he felt bad that nobody else had read the book. Give me a break, folks. It's my most recent book. The Awakened Millionaire. It's a manifesto for what I'm calling the spiritual wealth movement. And there are some steps in there and some formulas in there to help you discover your passion and follow your passion. But I want to build from what's in there. I'm not going to leave you out if you haven't read the book, but I want to build from what's in there. And so I'm going to write down part of it right now. And I'm going to look at my cheat sheet to make sure I say it right. I could ask you to do it, but I'll start it. So we got a P plus a P plus a P equals a P. And what I'm curious is how many need to use the bathroom now? I kind of do, but all right, so does anybody want to guess what this first P stands for? That's too easy. Passion, yes, passion is the first P. So the real question is, how do you discover your passion? So I ask you, how do you discover your passion?
Ask yourself.
He says, ask yourself, which I think is great. Ask yourself, what is my passion? What excites me? What would I do for nothing? Yes, go ahead.
I go back to like when I was in high school and or even younger, the things that I loved to do. And like for me, it was to be of service to people. And then as you look at your life, you kind of see you keep going back to that. It's a matter of honing in on
Yeah.
your gift.
And I think that's a great example. One question to ask yourself is, what did you want to do when you were a child? And whatever that is, write it down now. Become reacquainted with it. You may not know where it'll lead, but it could be a clue if you don't already know what your mission or passion happens to be. When I was a kid, I wanted to be Babe Ruth. I wanted to be a baseball player. I also wanted to be a magician. I wanted to be Harry Excello. That was my stage name. I invented it. I created magic tricks when I was a kid. And I was inspired by Harry Houdini. I also wanted to be Joe Mannix. Anybody remember that TV show? It was an old, early detective show, a private eye. And I thought, well, I want to be a private eye. That sounds cool, even though he got beat up every week and, and didn't really make any money. Also wanted to be an author. Why did I want to be an author? I was addicted to books. I loved books. I still love books today. This is one of my major missions in life. This is why I have 70 books, including books you never heard of and books you don't read. Like The Awakened Millionaire. I write them anyway, because my passion isn't dependent on other people. It does help if other people will appreciate my passion, but occasionally buy it so I can go get my car, right? But otherwise, what we want to do is find out, what did you want to do when you were a kid? So I had all of those different things, but when I looked at myself, I thought, I love books more than anything else. I really want to be a writer. And I decided as a kid I wanted to be a writer. I didn't know what kind of writer at that point, but at least it put that little, I don't know, the bent branch that's telling me to go that way. It's telling me which way to go on my trail. So that's one way. What's another way to find out what your passion is? What is it? Try new things. Yeah, try new things. It's like we have a buffet of life. You can go and try a variety of things, much like I was doing with magic and baseball and detective and authorship. And I wanted to be an attorney at one point too. Can't believe it today, because I didn't know what an attorney really was when I was a kid. But Clarence Darrow and those guys, they influenced me or inspired me. But for me, it was trying different things and then finding out, what do I resonate with? And for me, again, it was being a writer. I always ask people, what was your hobby? Even today, what's your hobby? What is it that you do for relaxation? Because this could be pointing in the direction of a passion, of a mission. Anybody have a hobby they want to share? Everybody still here? Yes. Go. I'm sorry.
I love saltwater aquarium.
Saltwater aquariums. Okay. And is this a passion of yours now or a hobby of yours?
Yes.
Cool.
Just in between tanks right now.
In between tanks. So, I don't know why that sounds funny. I'm in between. I'm in between tanks right now. I'm going to introduce myself as that later. What do you do for a living? I'm in between tanks right now. No idea what that means. And you wanted to say one of your passion or hobbies?
Well, I'm getting back to it, but I used to be an avid tennis player.
Oh, nice.
This other passion.
Avid tennis player, and you said something else?
Oh, well, my passion is to get the health and the wealth back to the world and educate people.
Oh, yeah, get health and wealth
But I
back
have
to the
a
world.
way, I was thinking, do you know anybody that can afford to buy a Rembrandt? It's the young Christ in the temple.
I like how she's taking the moment to do some marketing. Do I know anybody that can buy a Rembrandt?
If you know, it's for $55 million.
Oh.
And the money's it's actually in Lady Diana's estate. We'll have to talk. And then if
Yeah,
that
definitely
you
will.
can get that car. Like,
Oh, so if I help sell a $55 million Rembrandt, I can get an $80,000 car.
$5 million in the thing to whoever finds.
Oh, well then I can get the car and I could buy this place because this place is for sale right now, right? And then we can all get together every weekend and we can give updates on our passions as long as you're not between tanks. All right, anybody else want to share a hobby? Yes, go ahead.
I enjoy practicing piano.
Oh, you play piano? You teach piano? What was the first
I
part?
have taught, but I used to be a classical piano performance.
Okay. Do you still play today?
I still do.
Cool. All right, so we got a classical piano player right here. Very good. Anybody else? One more? Yes. Gardening, that's a great one, gardening. Any particular flowers or veggies, or are you in between tanks too? It's going to be a running theme.
So birds, bees, butterflies, and birdies. So if it needs any of those, then
Wait a minute, birds, bees, butterflies, and Brittany? God, it's like a song lyric. Birds, bees, butterflies, and Brittany.
natives and just odd plants. I have black hollyhocks. I have peppers. I have chocolate daisies.
Nice.
That smell like chocolate.
Oh, I can smell it already. It's a visual for me. These are all beautiful. Yes, go ahead.
My degree is art, and I want to do my art, and I do some, a little bit of exhibiting or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and I take jobs to make money, and that's not what I want to do.
That's not what you know. Now you are forbidden to talk like that here.
Yeah.
We are all in the. How many of you? Please tell me yes. How many have read The Attractor Factor? Okay, most of you have read The Attractor Factor. A few hands have not gone up. The Attractor Factor. I'll talk more about it tomorrow because that was a life-changing book for me. The Attractor Factor is a best-selling book. It's what got me into the movie The Secret. It has changed lives, but there's 5 steps in it, as you probably know, but I'm going to remind you. The first step is to know what you don't want. Okay, so you said what you don't want. That's fine from the first step, and most people stop there. That's the world of complaining. That's the world of, getting around the water cooler and just complaining about the way the world is, but nothing happens. So the second step is to declare what you do want. So when you declare, this is what I don't want to do and I don't want to do that anymore, that's fine for that moment. We just touch on it. Then we turn it 180 degrees and you declare what you do want. So what do you want? Changing what you just said, you said you didn't want to do that. What do you want?
Profit from my artwork.
She wants to profit from her artwork. I love it. That is much more energetic. That is much more confident. That's much more empowering. It's going in the right direction. I do have a track called Empowerment. I know you're sitting in the sun. I don't want to play it just yet. I'm just, you're good? All right, I have a track called Empowerment, and if somebody reminds me at the end of this, I want to play it because it's going to anchor in the idea that you can have, do, or be virtually anything you can imagine. And I want you to make sure that that's in you, installed in you, so you can walk with your head held high and your heart open, knowing that you can fulfill your passions, you can make money from your art or from your gardening or when you have tanks or whatever it happens to be. So with the Attractor Factor, just to make sure everybody has it, the second step is to declare what you do want. Third is to get clear. That's the focus of Miracles Coaching. It is to help you get clear of the counter intentions, the unconscious blocks, the most of the things people don't know, the ones that are walking around out there complaining in the world, they don't know that they're getting results that are matching their own unconscious mind. So if you're not getting the results you want to get clear of the blocks in your unconscious/subconscious. That's what Miracles Coaching does, but that's the third step in the Attractor Factor. Anybody know the fourth step? Yes? Nevelize your intention. Nevelize, that's a coin word. One of my favorite mystical authors is Neville, like Neville Goddard. Most people just refer to him as Neville. And Neville talked about imagining as if what you want has already occurred. Most people, when they visualize anything, whether it's your passion coming true or something else, visualize it off in the future. And there's nothing wrong with that. Imagery works. Visualization works. But it's a longer process because you've put it outside of yourself and you've put it off in the future, and you can have all kind of doubts. It can be a time delay. With Nevelize, you imagine that it happened last night. You sold artwork last night. In fact, you showed me your check that you got this morning, and I was so proud, and I said, look what you did. You know, Nevelizing is assuming the wish fulfilled. Yes?
I'm wondering if you advocate lying about it, like telling people you already have it, even though you don't. Like in the airport when you're just chatting with strangers. Yeah, you know what? I just got this great. Does that help or is that contrary?
That's a great question. I have not been asked that before. She's asking me, is it okay to be a liar? But in a specific context, so I understand what you're saying. I think that's going to be a personal decision. My instant answer is I don't feel comfortable doing that with other people because it does feel like I'm lying to them, and I don't want to deceive them. But to go ahead and imagine it's already taken place for me, I'm using a manifestation technique that I know works. I'm Nevelizing my own reality. I'm imagining that I already have the car, and thank you for buying it. I drove it this morning. It's beautiful. We need to get some photos of you and me with the car later. And if you want, I'll give you a ride in it because I appreciate you buying it. You know, so I'm Nevelizing the whole thing. That doesn't feel wrong to me at all. But if I told other people, to me, it would feel incongruent. So I think it's a personal one. If it really makes your boat float, you really get excited about it, go for it. You know, if they're complete strangers as you described it, it's probably no harm done, and go about your day. So, and the fifth step in the attractor factor, you want to make sure you got it, is to let go while taking inspired action. That confuses some people because they say, how do I let go and take action? I'm talking about your psychological addiction and need for things to work a certain way. You want to let go of that. You want to be open to divinity, God, the universe, whatever you want to call, what I sometimes call the great something, to bring you what you want in a more open, surprising, magical, even miraculous way. It's too easy for us to go, oh, I want to follow my passion, and here's how I think I can do it. And we're coming from our ego. And our ego is very limited. Our ego is basing the decisions based on what we've done in the past, or we saw other people do, which was also in the past. So we're not open to what's possible in the future. We're not open to something that is brand new and unexpected. And I am finding in my life, when I let go of the how, when I let go of I think I know what I need to do it, the miracles take place. And I'm often shocked. It's like, how did that happen? Where did that person come from? Like, I had no idea she'd be buying me that car tomorrow. It just showed up. It's wonderful, very spontaneous. But, you know, besides being silly about it, it's the idea that you're letting go of your need for it to be a particular way. And another way to do this is when you state your intention, like you want to make money or profit from your passion, you add this or something better to your intentions. This or something better. Because I might think that car is the one I want, but she might go, no, there's a better one. There's a Stingray, and it's 2017. It's a new model. It costs more money, but she's glad to do it for me. So you want to add this or something better to your intentions to open your mind to the possibility of something else. Make sense? All right. So all we're doing right now is we're talking about finding out what your passion is. What's another way to find out what your passion is? Yes.
I want to say that it's where you feel at home.
Yeah.
It just feels, it's you. It's just, I'm home.
Yeah, she says it's where you feel at home. In other words, it's natural for you. You're in the pocket, to use a musical term. It feels like it is right for you. It may not be right for anybody else, and nobody else may even understand it. But it feels right for you because it's home for you. I like it. Somebody else had their hand up. Was it you? Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say sometimes you can tell by just the books and magazines you read, and
Yes.
that tends to give me a good feeling when I read them. So
Oh, I like it. So he's saying he's looking at his own, you're looking at your own room, you're looking at your own library, and you're going, hey, what are the magazines I'm reading? What are the books I'm reading? What are the websites I'm going to? These are clues, these are mirrors to what your passion is. So I have one more technique that I use for helping you discover your passion, and this is a good one for helping you decide on what you want to do in life, period. I am not encouraging anybody to play the lotto. I think it's gambling. But I use it as a prosperity exercise, as a tool to reveal who you are and what you really want. When the lottery in the United States went up to a $500 million with a B, $500 million a couple different times, and I would just send out emails to friends of mine and say, hey, if you won this, what would you do? What would you do differently? What would you pursue in your life? And everybody comes back with things like, I'd go around the world and I'd buy cars and I'd buy houses and I'd do these trips and I'd buy, a shoe store, or I'd buy, they do all these things. And that's fine. But when the dust settles and you're done playing and you wake up on the beach, you say, what am I going to do to contribute to my life? What am I going to do to contribute to other people? So if you won the lotto, what would you do to follow your own passion? She's running to follow her passion right now. She can't wait to get out there. My passion awaits. I have to do it now. So, who wants to say, what would you do? What would you do differently? You won millions, even after taxes. You're going to go home with a couple $100 million. What are you going to do to follow your passion? Anybody? No right or wrong. We'll just all judge you. Yes. No.
Okay, I'm at the crossroads right now to accept the teaching position with art.
Yep.
I don't want to do that because I want to do my art. Okay, so
I heard you.
Quit that job. I would quit in the teaching, in the school, and I would just create art and travel and go to the famous art museums all over the
Okay,
world.
she's saying something very important. I don't know if everybody can hear her, but she's saying that she doesn't want to take that job. There's again the I don't want, which is fine. We want to move it to the I want. And what you want is to travel, to look at the art museums, and I forget everything else.
And to just do my art and
You want to do your art and profit from your art. This is where we want to go with our honest clarity about ourselves and our passion. I want you to be ruthlessly honest with yourself about what you really want to do in your life. This is what's going to reveal your passion. And the next step that I would, if I was working one-on-one with you, and this is just an example for everybody, I would look at you and say, how much of that dream that you have can you start right now? And you don't have to answer because it's for everybody to look at. Most of us are waiting for time, we're waiting for money, we're waiting for other people, we're waiting for permission. That's all bull. Pardon me, but that is all excuses. You don't need all of what you think you need. Everybody keeps thinking they need more money. You know what you need, and I say this in the book nobody read, The Abundance Manifesto. What you need is more creativity. More creativity. Instead of thinking that I need to have a job, or I need to have this money, or I need to have fill in the blank, you ask, what can I do today to move in the direction of my passion? And that would be for you and for everybody here. Powerful, powerful question. Anybody want to venture an answer about what you would do? Yes, with the lottery?
In Australia, we're having a lot of drought.
Yeah.
And they've just done a $1 million hay run. And so they got all the 18-wheelers, and they were donated, and then not the trucks, and then they filled them with hay and had a convoy out because they're desperate. They're
Wow.
desperate. I'd do that, and actually it's something I'm already looking at.
Oh, good.
Organising one, yeah.
And I love that you're already looking at it because you're not waiting.
No.
Don't wait. When people ask me, I have 15 music albums done. The agreed upon estimate is I have 70 books that are written and out. I have all kind of courses, DVD programs. I travel, I speak. Got my own television show coming up, the Joe Vitale show. There's 14 episodes of it, an entire season already filmed, already in the can, already done. And I make time to come up here, hang out with you. And I'm here all today, I'm here all tomorrow. I'm getting to do all of this. I am not waiting. I do what needs to be done when it needs to be done. Today, in this moment, it's right here, right now with you, doing this. Later this afternoon, I might write another book. I don't know. Depends what's happened. So let's move on to, anybody want to guess what the next P is? Close. Anybody else? We know it starts with a P. I got purpose. Anybody else? I'm going to tell you it's product. Well, I want you to follow your passion, but I want you to create some sort of product or service out of your passion that you can sell or market. Again, this is following your passion. None of you should be thinking, oh, that's going to be work. If you're following your passion and it's not work. When people look at me and say, how do you write all the books? They are imagining what it would be like for them to do it. And for them, they think that is work. I am doing it and it's not work. I am just, it's an energy expenditure. It's kind of a play. It's focused results. I'm not sure what the right word is, but it's not work. So if I try to do some sort of business or create some sort of product out of something that's out of alignment with my purpose or my passion, that'll feel uncomfortable. That'll feel like work. That'll go back to the old guy who was the advisor telling us that there's going to be competition and you're going to be in a dogfight and you're not going to like it. Only if you're doing something that's not your passion. So I want you to figure out what is it that you can turn your passion into a product. What can you create? Now, when I had breakfast with Paul Mix, he told me about Ivan Levine, or Levine. Do you know Dave? Levine. Ivan Levine, who came to them and didn't have a clue how to operate his computer, didn't know how to do cut and paste on the computer, didn't know any of this kind of stuff. He was a math teacher who loves teaching math. And through his coaching experience, I don't know the whole story about this, he ends up creating math toys and math games, which he ends up selling. So do you hear what's going on here? He knows his passion, that's that first P, which is teaching math. He's creating a product and service, which in his case are the math toys. And after he learned how to cut and paste and whatever he needed to do in order to actually run a business, Paul said he was making $5 million a year. $5 million a year from following his passion. Do you see how it works? You know, I've been kidding her about the car. I do like cars. Paul and I always talk about cars. And because cars are a passion of mine, 10 years ago, I did an online program called Attract a New Car. It's been selling and still sells today, 10 years later. I recorded it one time. I think it was a 4-week teleseminar, and people called in and asked questions, and I had a couple guest speakers, and we recorded all of that, and I wrote a website, put the audios up for sale, and at first we sold them for $100. Did that for years. Then I decided to lower the price to $19.95. It's still selling, and I'm not promoting it. People are finding it. That's out of my passion. So the guy who's between tanks, you know that there are people who have the same interest as you. And what you want to do is create some sort of, maybe it's a beginner's tank ebook. You know, I don't know the field enough to be able to guess what that is, but you want to create something that's a product or service out of your passion. Are you with me? Anybody want to venture a guess of what you could create, or maybe you've already created? Somebody? Anybody? I'm begging for volunteers here. Yeah.
I like to build things and solve problems. I have a company now that it's a side company yet, but that I have a unique video stand that I sell.
A video stand?
Video camera stand.
Created the product.
Oh, nice. So you created the video stand, and that's what you're selling? And it's coming from the fact that you like to build things?
Build things and solve problems.
Wow. Not a great example, isn't it? I heard of a guitar player years ago who used to make a guitar stand because most guitar players are sitting on a stool, or he couldn't even play a guitar on something like that because of the arms. But he built a guitar stand, and it just had 3 legs, had a place behind him to put a beer or wine or water, you know, something. Another place over on the side he can lean his guitar. He built this. And people would go to his shows, and they didn't buy his CDs. They wanted to know how to buy his stands. And he went into the guitar stand making business. And I have one of them. I bought one too. Anybody else? Great examples, great examples. Somebody else on either an example of creating a product or service around your passion, or one maybe you could do. Oh, I'm sorry, way over here.
I have maybe an idea on one that I could do.
Yeah, tell us.
Maybe I could write a book or something on how to have a successful home birth.
Great example. Great example. I don't know if you all heard her writing a book on how to have a successful home birth, which you've done apparently.
4 times.
She is an expert. She is an expert on the subject. And absolutely yes. And tomorrow my presentation is all about books and turning your ideas, even when you don't have an idea, helping you find one that you can turn into a book and sell it. So you'll definitely want to be for that. But that's a great example. Passion, experience, turn it into a product somebody would want. All right, let me go to the next one. Anybody want to guess what the next P is? We got passion, we got product or service, we got people. 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 We need somebody that's going to buy your product or service, right? And they should be people that are interested in your passion. You need, well, that would be best. You want passionate people. World-class passionate people is what she's saying. I can't even say that real fast. World-class passionate. So where do you find your audience? This is more of a marketing question here, but it's worth talking about in a little bit of time I have here. Marketing, promotion. Where do you find your people? Where do you find the people? On the internet. Whoever said that, yes?
Market research.
Market research, which mostly you got to do on the internet. You know, some obvious places are Facebook. There are groups for everything. No matter what you name, there is a group for it on Facebook. You know, a lot of you know that I've been doing the strongman training, bending bolts and horseshoes and nails and, you know, all that kind of stuff. There are groups of people interested in the strongman training on Facebook. Some of you know I was playing the saxophone when I was first learning how to play, went on Facebook. There are lots of groups for saxophone players at various levels of skill, beginner to, you know, traveling professionals. So Facebook's a great way to go and look for your audience. Where else can you look? Meetup groups. Did you say that? Meetup groups? Yes, meetup groups. You want to look at who you're talking to, because if you already are following a passion of some sort, you probably have people in that circle that you're corresponding with. So I would be looking for, what do all these people listen to? What radio do they listen to? What do they all watch? Do they watch TV? Do they watch Amazon, Netflix? Do they watch particular movies? What do they read? Are they reading trade magazines, newspapers, e-zines? What do they subscribe to? There's all kind of mailing lists out there, and Google can be your friend. When Paul was introducing me earlier, he talked about Donnie Deutsch. Donnie Deutsch had a great show. It's no longer on TV, but it was called The Big Idea on CNBC. And one of the highlights of my life was I got to go on that show and did a 5-minute thing live with Donnie Deutsch for the world to see. And Donnie always talked about people going on Google. And there were individuals just like you and me. There was a woman there who had invented a purse. She didn't like all the purses that were out there, and she needed a purse that you can take apart the outside of it, and it had some drawers in it. Some things that, you know, I don't know anything about purses, but this woman did. And she had no money, no connections, nothing. She Googled where she can have one made so she can get a prototype. And there were companies in China. She got on a plane to China with no appointments, no translator, and borrowing on her credit cards. And she went there, and she, through, you know, somebody helping her out, and this had to be spontaneous in China, getting her in the door, talking to the people that could speak English, making her prototype, made a successful line of handbags, and that's why she was on Donnie Deutsch. So you can find these people with Google searches. It's so ridiculously easy compared to what it used to be. Is this exciting or what?
Yes.
Are you all excited? So are you so excited you can't speak? Is that what's going on? We can't respond to you anymore, Joe. So all of this, so obviously that's the passion, that's the product or service, this is the people, equals what? That's where the profit is. That is the basic formula. I would advise you to read The Awakened Millionaire to get the background and the other formulas that are in there. But that's the basic formula I want to get across today. What questions do you have about that before we play the empowerment track? Have I answered all of your questions? Yes, go ahead.
Did you say there was going to be time tomorrow or something a time and a place for you to zero in on what your passion might be? For instance, myself, I feel like it's general. It's a general feeling, a general thing I'd like to see happen, say, in the world. And how do you zero that into what your passion is to make a profit or make it happen?
Okay, that is a great question. How many feel the same way? Oh, quite a few of you. Oh, wonderful. Okay, all of you get together.
I'm ready to book on it.
Actually, the way you're thinking, that's exactly the way you think. You find out that there's a group of people that have a similar problem, and you get together and you create an ebook like that that says how to discover your passion when you have nothing but generalities.
Really?
Yes, 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 yes. That's how you do it. I was in a mastermind group 10 years ago. I got to say this real quick. Now she's ignited something in me. So, sorry, here we go. 10 years ago, mastermind group. And they were all struggling to come up with products and services. And I was the more experienced one in the group. And I remember one guy coming in and he says, man, I'm going to write a book called The Myth of Passive Income. Because none of this is passive. We got to work. It's residual income, but it's not passive income. And I said, man, that's a great idea. Write a book called The Myth of Passive Income. Tell people how to create residual income, which is money that still comes from royalties and sales, but you do something to keep it going. Passive income, you have it coming from royalties and sales, but you're not really doing anything. And he did. He did. And we made that book a bestseller. It's still on Amazon right now, The Myth of Passive Income. I can't tell you how many times I have come up with products, seen people come up with products out of the very thing you're saying. Hey, how do I do that? Hey, I'm confused. Whenever you hear a complaint, whenever you hear a question, you hear somebody saying the same kind of a question like she just did, it's an opportunity. Little lights should be going on like Christmas lights in your head that say, oh, if that's a problem for me or that person, it's probably a problem for a whole group of other people. Solve the problem, there's your product, and you can make your profit from those other people. So don't dismiss the confusion. Don't dismiss the fact that you feel like there's generalities or you're in a smog or a fog, because out of that comes the very product that you're looking for. I think it was 15 years ago, I was doing the Body for Life bodybuilding thing that Bill Phillips had going on, and I was ferociously committed to that. I did 5 back-to-back sessions, never had a cheat meal at all, and I was out with friends, and they're all ordering margaritas and drinks, and I'm drinking water. And I put my fist to the table, and I jokingly said, what we need is a bodybuilder's margarita mix, bitch, I don't know. It was something like that. I'm slurring my words now, thinking about the drink. And anyway, I said it and everybody laughed, and I thought, wait a minute, can I do that? And I went to a nutritionist and I went to an alternative doctor, and we created what's called Fit-A-Rita, made with all natural ingredients, no sugar, no carbs, sweetened with stevia. The average margarita packet has 300 to 700 calories in one mix. This, 1 shot of tequila and 6 ounces of water, I sometimes confuse them, 6 ounces of tequila and 1 ounce of water. Either way, it's a good drink. And yeah, there you go. Now we know what we're doing on our day. And Whole Foods offered to buy, and I forget if it was 300,000 or 500,000 packets at the time. That all came out of me bitching, me complaining, me just stating, oh, there's a problem here. Why didn't somebody? Why not me? Do you see how this works? And to answer your question, I am around all day, so if there is an opportunity to talk a little bit, we'll do that. But And I'll do that with anybody. Make sure, you know, I get to eat and drink and close my eyes if I look like I need a nap. But I'm around today and tomorrow. But also keep in mind, you can do this with each other. And if you're in Miracles Coaching, you can do this with your Miracles coach. And tomorrow in particular, be sure to be at my presentation about the great idea about the book. Because there is a book in each one of you. And you may not know it or see it right now, but I can help you see it. I swear, I have turned everybody around me. If they hang around me at all, they become authors. My wife's now an author. She's got a cookbook. My father is an author. He has 2 books. Neighbors, friends of mine, if they hang around me at all, I'll see books in them and then they'll just become authors. The sad thing for me is I have to remind people I'm an author too. Come around all these other people who are now bragging about their own books. I'm going to make a t-shirt. I'm an author too. Ask me about my next book. Ask me about The Awakened Millionaire because nobody else does. The Awakened Millionaire? No, but I stuffed your bags with other books. Yeah.
Sign mine. I bought them back, so would you sign mine for me, please?
Did you say so you can sell it back in Australia? Is that what you said?
No.
I'm kidding.
Nobody's getting their hands on it. Believe me, it's mine.
Oh, of course. I'll sign your books, by the way, if that's what you're asking. Yeah, if you want your book signed, I'm glad to do that. So before we play this track, and I'll tell you what the track is in a second, are there any final questions or comments? So I want you to focus on the track that's about to be played and just relax in your chair. Is there anything nagging at you? Yes, way back there.
Yeah, I was wondering, this is very business class oriented, I love it. Do you ever go to a local community college or so and do a speaking? Because I know there's a lot of young students, and of course, you know, there's all ages really where, because I'm taking business classes right now, that would appreciate insight into that to someone who actually is an entrepreneur, not in just one field, but in several.
And I haven't in recent years, but it's come up with a new team of people that are working with me that we want to reach that market. So it's just cropped up, and I'm looking at what you're saying as a confirmation that I need to go in that direction. So thank you for that. Bless you. Well, I'm going to tell you a couple things here. First of all, you know you are the leaders. Not everybody is into personal growth. Not everybody puts their money on the dotted line. Not everybody packs bags and goes to travel. You are all ahead of the game. You're all doing the work on yourselves that influences the rest of the planet. So I am congratulating you, and I am inspired by you. You're making a difference in each other's lives. You're making a difference in my life, Achieve Today, all the coaches, by extension, everybody that's out there in the world. If we raise the consciousness, let me change that. When we raise the consciousness of ourselves, we raise it for the planet. So we are doing that. And I want everybody to follow their passion because the passion is unique. We don't all want to become authors. We don't all want to build things. We don't all want to play the piano. We don't all want to do the same thing, which is great. The world works when we all do our unique passion. So in your gift bag, there was 2 albums given to you. And one of them is nothing but instrumental music that you can relax to and sleep to or have tequila to, and whatever it happens to be. And the other one is called The Healing Song. It's one of my singer-songwriter albums, but there's a couple instrumentals on there that ended up being so inspired that they are profound. And there's one called Empowered. It's track 6 on that one, so you can go to it later. And when we were in the studio, all we really wanted to do was play this kind of mesmerizing, relaxing music. But when we were done, my band members are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're Grammy winners. I mean, I'm very fortunate that I don't have those skills, but they elevate me and bring the best out of me. And they said what this thing needed was my voice. And I ended up saying a very improvised, divinely expressed, strengthening statements to help empower you. Because I want you to live your passion, profit from your passion, live your dreams, influence everybody around you, and have these happy, healthy, successful lives. So I wanted to relax to it. I want all of you to relax to it. It's about 3 minutes long. Treat it as a meditation. I don't even know how well you're going to hear it from over there. But imagine you're listening to it, and imagine how great it is. I love you all. Thank you. Let's play the song. And thank you.